This is Gemara Pesachim Daf Kuf Yud Ches. All the learning for the month of Nisan as we close out Masechtas Pesachim has been sponsored by the Grun family in honor of the yahrzeit of their father, the first yahrzeit, Chaim Mordechai ben Naftali's feet, and the Neshama Shav and Aliyah. The learning of the entire Chabura, which Baruch Hashem keeps on growing, should be a tremendous chos for his Neshama. Of course, all our Chelim Shava B'Refuah Shlema B'Kara V'Menu B'Megel Chaim and Sar Shamsim Reizel Sar Baskanal L'Tabasim S'Chaysay Yisrael B'Mindol Aliyah Zerparas V'Shav Leishom Bas Nabi V'Shav Figur Shivchanaf Al-Davin Nitiri V'Shmo Ben Tila Daniel Khan Reizin Mal Chai Bas Minoli Baruch Vastav Musa Tinei Ben Shim Mindol Simchatavi Ben Avigal Vashas Vi Ben Yotiverim Nechel Seven Nethil Huban Nindom Mendel Ban Taiba Besayushachli as well as the Shidduch at the Leah Bas Ita and Menachem Mendel Ben Elisheva. We pick it up in the bottom of Kuf Yud Zayin Amid Beis, the Mishnah, and we just concluded the meal. We concluded Shulchan Aruch or the Karban Pesach back Bisman. Chazal, Mirta Shem, Bekarayv. Now we're about to bench. So says the Mishnah, Mazgu, Lai Kais Shlishi. They pour for him the third cup. Again, we'll point out one more time. Lai, you pour for him. Mavarich al Mizayna, and you bench on the Kais. Revi'i, the fourth Kais, the fourth cup of wine. Gaimer Love is a Halal. You say the Halal with it. Vaimer Love Birch Sashir, and you say Birch Sashir, which the Gemara is going to explain exactly what that means. Beina Kaisais Halalu, between these Kaisais, Imraita Lishtais Yishta, then you're allowed to drink. Between 3 and 4, you cannot drink. What exactly does this mean? Is a tremendous machlekes Rishayin, and the Rashbam over here learns that it means between kaises 2 and 3, you're allowed to drink as much as you want, but between 1 and 2 is one block, 3 and 4 is another block. In between those two, you're allowed to drink. Between 3 and 4, you're not allowed to drink. And Mirta Shem, as we get closer to Yantif, will be giving a shir about what you're actually allowed to drink, water, coffee, maybe between the first two cases if someone is tired, perhaps, but we'll get there. Says the Gemara, Amar le Rav Chanan l'Rava. Says Rav Chanan to Rav Shema Mina, we learn from here, Berchas amazoin tuna kais. When you bench ala kais. So Allah and Shulchan Aruch, Amrei, Araba Kasi Tikkun Rabbanan Derech Kol Chad V'Chad Naveh Mitzvah. Absolutely not. He responds, it's not a raya because these are special kaisais. Stavk over here, the Dal kaisais, each one has a mitzvah. That's the reason why you bench on it, but not on a regular day. And we've mentioned many times that Mishtabura sounds like one should be benching Alakai, certainly by a Mizuman, by 3, but the minhag of many is to not, and Ramesha comes along to explain that minhag. Let's continue the last line of Kavi Zayin Mebeiz Revi, the fourth Kais, Kaimer Laz Vazal, you complete the Halel, Vaimer Lav Birch Zashir, and you say Birch Zashir, says the Gemara, Kof Yud Ches Amar Aleph Mai Birch Zashir. What is this Birch Zashir? Rav Yudah Amer Yalucha Hashem Elokeinu. What exactly is Birchas Hashir? Tan Rabbanan says the Gemara, Ravi Goyim Lavis Halal Vaimer Halal Gadol. Devi Tarfin. You complete the Halal, you say Halal Gadol. We're going to see that completing the halal, that's the regular halal, like we started the halal of Rosh Chodesh and of Yantif, then the halal gadol, as we'll see, is halukas, is haidu, nishmas, etc. V'yesh aimrim, Hashem rayu lo yachzar mitzvah l'David, which we do not say. Meichan halal gadol, says the Gemara, what is this halal gadol? Rav Yudah Aimer, me haidu, v'anaras bavel, the entire hodu. Rav Yechlan Amar, me shir amal is anaras bavel. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar, mechi Yaakov bar Chala, why are we calling it the great Hallel? Such an incredible answer, says the Gemara. Wonderful Musar we can learn from this answer. God sits in the heights of the world. And what is God busy with? What's the creator of the world busy with? He's busy with our sustenance, with our food. That's the Hallel God. The great praise of Hashem is that we recognize that Hashem is even giving us the smallest little things. Apologies on the voice. Says the Gemara, Amar Yeshua Ben Levi. Second white line. Hani Eser Ma'arba Haidu, the 26 Haidus that we say. Keneged Mi, Keneged Chavta Al Dar Shabar Kadosh Baruch Hu. The 26 generations that God created by Lam in this world. And there was no Torah for 26 generations. So what sustained the world without Torah? God Himself in His Chesed sustained the world in those 26 Torahs. until the Torah was given. What is the meaning of the pasuk? Haidul Hashem ki toiv. Blessed, give thanks to Hashem for He is good. Haidul Hashem shegoyv chayvasa shel adam b'tayvasai. That Hashem collects our chayv, collects our debt, collects that all our wrongdoing. But where does He collect it? In this world. Asher b'shayrai takes away your ox, v'zani b'sai with your sheep, yasam b'beitzai with your egg, almana b'tarnagolastai. Meaning, He takes away your sustenance and your money in this world, which sounds terrible, true, but in the next world, that is the wonderful toiv that Hashem does for us, that He saves all the good for the next world for us. Amar Rabbi Yechanan, says Rabbi Yechanan, 5 lines into the wide lines. Kashem is einishal adam kiflayim ki leida. Making a parnasa is double as difficult, difficult to endure than giving birth. I don't know if one should tell this to his wife, but it's twice as difficult as childbirth. When it comes to giving birth, what is the pasuk say? Be'etzev, referring to one, which is in the plural. The word etzev refers to sufferings. It's double when it comes to the mezainos, and that shows, that points out that making a living is twice as difficult as giving birth. Other pshatim exactly why that's true. Perhaps the reason is when you have a lady, you have a birth, it's very painful, but then there's an end. It's over. It's finished. And by Mirza Hashem, hopefully it ends with a lady, it ends with a baby, and that's another reason why. Whereas when it comes to parnasa, it's a long, enduring, and forever and ever trek. You don't necessarily see that light at the end of the tunnel. The sustenance of man is more difficult to God, whatever that means, more than the geula, the redemption itself. What does it say about the redemption? The malach is going to redeem us. Malach ba'alma. When it comes to making a living, you see Hashem is our shepherd. Hashem is the one that makes us give a living, and therefore we have to first of all realize that God is what gives us money, and we have to realize how difficult it is, that it's not a mere redemption like a malach. Hashem Himself deals with it. Amar Rav Shimon Levi. When Hashem says to man, Hashem told Adam Arishan after the chait, after the sin of the Itzadas, you're going to have to eat the thorns and the thistles. They're going to sprout, and you're going to have to eat from the grass of the field. Adam Arishan started crying. Hashem, me and my chamar, we're going to eat from the same trough. We're both going to get down on all fours and drink and eat from the ground. When Hashem said to him, no, you're going to work hard, but you're going to get lechem, you're going to get bread, you're going to get real food, you're going to be higher than an animal. Adam Arishan calmed down, realizing it's true, it's going to be difficult to make a parnasa, but Lamaisa, we're not animals, Lamaisa, we're on a higher plateau, and that was the nechama that Adam Arishan received. We would have been, Rish Lakish asks, Ashreinu, the opposite, how fortunate we would have been, if we stayed in that original world, meaning the Gemara almost sounds like it's better that we work for our food. Says Rish Lakish, what are you talking about? Would have been better not. Vadayin, but says Rish Lakish, says Rish Lakish, at some level we still maintain that world that we eat greens, we eat grass, we eat salads, we eat things grown from the ground. We don't have to make everything, and that somehow connects us all the way back to Kaidim Achei before the sin. Says the Gemara, Rav Shizmi Mishmei Jorvelaz ben Azariah, Kashim Zana Shal Adam Kigriyas Yamsov. Sustenance is more difficult. We saw number 1 than the redemption. Well, going backwards, we saw number 2 worse than childbirth, and now we see like Kriyas Yamsov itself. The Chsev Neisin Lechem L'Chol Basar. The Samach Le'Legs are Yamsov L'Gzarim. We see that it's equatable to the splitting of the sea. Jorvelaz ben Azariah, Kashim the cover Shal Adam. Using the bathroom. If one can't use the bathroom, constipation is like death. And when you finally could go, the miracle that it is, the miracle, everything that works inside our body. Shinjabinkas used to point out that we have to think when we say Asher Yatzar, all the miracles that happen is like Kriyas Yamsov itself, like the splitting of the sea. Shnamar, it says in the Torah, what does it say afterwards? Again, who split the sea and its waves raged, and we see that said in conjunction to opening up or referring to using the bathroom. Another preparation for Yantif. Anyone who degrades the Mayadis, which Mayadis says Rashbam, says Rashi, Chol HaMoyed, Kilu Ovid Avodah Zara, quite dreadful. It's if you served an idol. Shnam the Pater says, L'kim Asecha, Lo Sas L'cha, not Asecha Zamaz, but rather You should not make yourself a molten god. We see that lacking is as if you worship an idol, and the simple pshat is because if you think you have to work on Cholamayid, you think that you can't watch Hashem's Yantif, that's as if an idol, because that means you're not worshiping God. If you had Emunah and Bitachon, you wouldn't have to work. But of course, we all know there are coolers if someone needs to work, etc. Either way, you false testimony, should be thrown to the dogs. Quite a terrible punishment. What does it say? Nearby, thrown to the dogs. That you should not cause in vain something to be accepted, meaning, and therefore we see both halves, both talking lashon hara and accepting. Says the Gemara, let's go back. Now that we just started to see halal gadol, the 26 hodus, the wonderful praise that Hashem takes care of everything. Why do we have to say the regular halal? Says the Gemara, Misham Sheish B'Hei Dvarim. There are 5 wonderful things of every single halal. Again, the regular halal, like we say in Rosh Chodesh, halu dvarim halal. You see as Mitzrayim, number 1, Kriyas Yamsuf, number 2, Matan Torah, number 3, Tchias HaMesim, number 4, V'chav lo yishal Mashiach, number 5. Now the Gemara explains. You see as Mitzrayim, first of all, the Chesiv says in the Torah, B'seis Yisrael Mitzrayim. Not in the Torah, it says by halal, B'seis Yisrael Mitzrayim. Ukriyas Yamsuf, the Chesiv Vayam Rav Yanas. Matan Torah, the Chesiv Aram Rak Duchelim. Tchias HaMesim, the Chesiv Hasalich Lefanai Hashem. Where do we see that? So it's the 5 wondrous things, and what we should be thinking when we're saying halal, the 5 wonderful things, the Kriyas Yamsuf, the Matan Torah, the Tchias HaMesim, the Tzias Mitzrayim, and the Chavlei Shal Mashiach. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Leilanu Hashem, Leilanu, says Rabbi Yochanan. Not for our sake, we say to Hashem, we daven. We ask Hashem, don't do for our own sake. That's referring to, says Rav Yechanan, that's referring to being subjugated, that we should redeem us from the subjugation, not for our own good. The final battle. Says Menachem Yitzchak, you know we have to say the regular Hallel, because it contains the escape of the souls from the righteous from Gehenim. Shenamar, oh no Hashem, please Hashem, Malta Nafshi, save my soul, referring to the righteous, getting them out of Gehenim. Chizki Amar B'nei, Sheyesh B'Yiridasan Shal Sadikim, this is number 7. That we have the Yuridasan Shal Sadikim, the Kivsha Shayesh, Val Yasan Mimanu. We see in Hallel, and the Gemara is going to explain this in a moment, we see that Sadikim going into the fiery furnace and coming out of it. What a wonderful miracle. Yuridasan, the Chsev, Lanu Hashem Lanu. The Sadikim Davin Hashem, save me, not for my own sake, for your sake. Now we explain, Amar Chananya, Chananya Mishav Azariah, Kiddushim Chatein Kavaid. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. The slave Lanu Hashem Lanu, Amar Chananya. Chananya said, don't do it, do it for your sake, not my sake. Mishal said, do it for your honor. Al for your right, for your chesed. Amar Azariah. Amru Kulam, and they all said the pasuk of Lamir Agayim. Aliyah said the Kivshan Ha'esh, and where do we see they got out of there? The Chsev, Halu was Hashem Kol Gayim, they should praise all the nations. Amar Chananya Shivcho Kol Ha'uman, all the nations are going to praise Hashem when they see such a miracle. Amar Mishal. No, I'm sorry. Again, one more time. Go back. I read it wrong again. Again, the Chsif. Halu es Hashem kol gayim amar Chananya. Shavchu kol ha'umim amar Mishal. Ki gavar alenu chastoi amar Azariah. V'emes Hashem ne'elam aluka amru kulam. Yishayim and some say v'emes Hashem ne'elam Gavriel amru is Gavriel. Bishash hepel nimroi d'Rosh Avram l'teich Kivshan Ha'esh, when he threw Avram Avinu into the fiery furnace amar Gavriel. Avram Avinu is being thrown into a fiery furnace, and the Gavriel says to God, Gavriel says to Hashem, let me go down, let me save Avram Avinu. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu says Hashem, Ani Yachad Ba'ilami, I'm one in my world. Hu Yachad Ba'ilami, and Avram Avinu fight the ganze Welt. Avram Avinu argued with the whole world. He's a singular. I, says Hashem, I am my own. I'm going to save the Yachad, I'm going to save Avram Avinu. Lufi, Shekadosh Baruch Hu enu mekapech schar kol beria, but because Hashem never reduces any reward that's given, meaning Gavriel over here wanted to do something good, just to desire the rod sign to do something good. It says Hashem, I never hold back the reward. Amar Tiz Kevatatzel Shoshim Neimei Banaf. Says Hashem, Gavriel, you're going to have the schos to save 3 of his descendants, Chanan, Mishav, Azariah. Darish of Shimon Ashiloini, Bishash Ebel Nebuchadnezzar, a Rasha. When Nebuchadnezzar, a Rasha, through Chanan, Mishav, Azariah, took Kivshan Ha'esh. Omad. Yurkamu Sarabarod, Yurkamu the Sarabarod, the minister of the Hail, stood up in front of God. Said Hashem, let's save Chanaan Mishav Azara. I'm Barod, I'm Hail. Let me go down. I'll put out the fire and save Chanaan Mishav Azara. Amr like Gabriel, said Gabriel, second last line. There's no gvura in that. It doesn't show might. If the fire puts out if the cold puts out the fire, rather Shata Sar Barad. Everyone knows water puts out a fire. Elo ani sar shaleish, says Gabriel. I am the minister of fire. I'm going to go. I'm going to make it cold within. The fire is going to have the ability, which obviously is a much bigger nace. And fire has an ability to cool off as we move along to Kav Yechesim Beis, and I'm going to heat up from the outside and make everyone on the outside get burned. So it's a miracle within a miracle. Because I'm heating up the outside there, but making the inside get colder. Gabriel, the Malach of Eish. Amr like Kadosh Baruch Hu, raid, go down and save these three wonderful tzaddikim. Chanaan Mishav V'Azar Boy Sashah Pasuk Gabriel V'Amar. Gabriel opened his mouth, whatever that means, and he said, "V'Emes Hashem La'ilam," and truth is to Hashem forever. Hashem didn't hold back, even the smallest of reward. He allowed because he wanted to save Avram Avinu. He gave him the schos to save Chanaan and Mishael V'Azar. Said the Gemara, Rav Nachman Aimer V'Emes Hashem La'ilam. No, it wasn't Gabriel that said it. Rather, Dagim Shaviyam Amruah. It was the fish in the sea that they said that Hashem is perfect, as we'll see in a moment. Ravuna Dam Ravuna Yisrael Shavay Sadar. The Klal Yisrael of that generation that left Mitzrayim, unfortunately, you had a little faith. The Rabbi Bar Mari and Rabbi Bar Mari explained. Let's see the story. What's the meaning of the pasuk? What is the meaning of the pasuk? And they rebelled by the sea. B'yam sof. They rebelled. Vayamru al yom b'yam sof, and they rebelled by the sea at the yam sof. Melamed she'emer Yisrael b'yisrael Klal Yisrael rebelled. V'amru kishev shanu olam mitzad echad kach b'tzim olam mitzad echad. We all know. Klal Yisrael went on one side, did a U-turn, and went out the same side. So it said, Klal Yisrael, if we're coming out, the Mitzrayim also going to come out. Meaning they didn't have faith. Amar like Kadosh Baruch Hu, Litzar Shaliyam. Hashem said to the Shar, the minister of the sea, said Hashem, Ploit Aisan Abasha, spit them out, split out the dead Egyptians onto the dry land. Amar Lefanav Rabban Shalom, Klami Shavet Shenaisin Lai Rabbi, Matana V'Chayzer V'Natzim Imenu. I don't understand. God, you gave me a present. You gave me all the evil Egyptians, and now you want me to spit them out? That was the sea's complaint to Hashem. Amar Lo, he said, God, I'm going to give you 1.5 times. You listen to me, you split out the Mitzrayim, I'm going to give you 1.5. Amar Lo, Rabban Shalom, Yishavet Shetayveas, Rabbi. Is there an Eved, a servant that's going to claim from his master of such an audacity? Amar Loi, Nachal Kishan El Yarif. Nachal Kishan, the river that was over there, should be my guarantor, said Hashem. Miyad. So the ocean said, the Yam Suf said, Polid, Oisan the Abash, he spit out the Egyptians to the dry land. Uba Yisrael Varai, his son. Klal Yisrael saw the Egyptians were destroyed. Shinamar, Vayar Yisrael's Mitzrayim, Misal Svasayam. I think this is a bit of a story. Not everyone knows this part of the story. So what exactly happened? That the sea got paid back 1.5 times? The Paro had 600 chosen chariots. And Sisra many generations later, it said 900 iron chariots. So when Sisra came to the Amsov also, Aliyahu Bidarki Bidriki Devar Zalah, he came with spears of iron. Hashem took out the stars from their paths, meaning made it very, very hot. The stars of heaven descended upon them. What happened? Those iron spears became very hot. So what happened? They went to cool themselves off, to rinse themselves off in Nachal Kishan. They went to Nachal Kishan, they're holding these spears, it became boiling hot, so they jumped into the ocean. Go pay back, you Nachal Kishan, remember, you were the guarantor. You were the guarantor to the Yam Suf. Now it's your time to pay back. Miyad, what happened? Nachal Kishan went and split them. swept them up into the Yam Sof. Shenemar, Nachal Kishan Gar from Nachal Kardumim. My Nachal Kardumim, Nachal Sha'anase Orei Mikedim refers to the Nachal, this river that was a guarantor earlier years. By say Shah Paschu Dagim. So at that moment that the Yam Sof got paid back, that the Nachal Kishan split Sisra's army, 900 chariots, not 600, 1.5 times. Now the Yam Sof got paid back. The fish opened their mouth. Shal Yam V'Amru V'Emes Hashem Nailam. Hashem is perfect. We see how He pays back everything. What is the meaning of the pasuk? That what is the meaning of the pasuk that says He transforms the foundations of the house? Knesset Yisrael, the assembly said in front of God, Rabbani Shalom Shmoini Samuni Banecha Kechol Dizu. Your children have made me like this weasel, Hadrab Ikrabatin, that dwells at the foundation of the houses, that the Knesset Yisrael came in front of Hashem complaining, like a mother complains about the children, that they said that all the Averas that they did, is going to destroy the mother, and this is how Hashem elicits their taina. Darish Rava, says the Gemara, we're at the 2 dots, about 15 lines into the white lines. Darash Rava might say, what is the meaning of the pasuk? Hashem, Kishma Hashem. I'm beloved when Hashem hears my voice. Knesset Yisrael Rabban Shalom. I'm sorry. Kishma Hashem. Knesset Yisrael Rabban Shalom. Meimas ani ahuva lefanecha. What am I beloved in front of you? Bizman shetishma kol tachanuni. When you listen to my voice, when the children daven to Hashem, and what does the pasuk mean? I'm poor and Hashem saved me. Even though I'm poor, we don't do enough mitzvahs. Still, it is fitting for you to save me. Amar Rav Kana, darshaning bor of Hallel. Rishal Rav Yosi got sick. Shalach loy Rabbi. They sent him. Amar lanu shleim shel shadvarim. Tell us 2-3 things. Shamar talanu that you said you're going to tell us. Misham avicha. Name of your father. We're afraid he's going to be nifter. We want to hear what you have to say. Shalach loy. He sent to them. Kach Amar Abbos. My father used to say, what is the meaning of the pasuk? Hallelujah. As Hashem called Goyim. Praise Hashem. All the nations. Hallelujah, as Hashem called Goyim. Yeah, praise Hashem, all the nations. Says the Gemara, what do you mean praise Hashem, all the nations? What are the Goyim doing over here? Why are the Goyim praising Hashem? Hachi Gamar, says the Gemara, Hallelujah, as Hashem called Goyim, Agvurais v'neflois David ba'adayu. Says, you know what the pasuk means? The praise Hashem, all the nations, for the mighty and wondrous deeds that Hashem does for the Goyim. Kol shekeinu, certainly us. The Gavar Aleinu Chasta, that we have so much righteousness. If the Goyim have to thank Hashem, certainly, we have to thank Hashem. In a second teaching of Shmuel's father, I see the Mitzrayim Shadavid Darim the Mashiach, Mitzrayim itself. The Egyptians are going to bring a present to Mashiach Kesavar. They're going to say, Mashiach, he's not going to accept our present. We're evil Egyptians. Mashiach says Hashem to Mashiach. Kibol Mehem, accept it for the Egyptians. What a tremendous lesson. Egypt was an Achsanya, was a host for my children. They were an evil host. They destroyed us. But yeah, we lived there nonetheless. Miyad Yisrael Chashmanim Minei Mitzrayim. Miyad, immediately, Yisrael Chashmanim Minei Mitzrayim, the pasuk says, gifts are going to be brought up from Mitzrayim. And now, from after that, you know what happened? Nasu Kush. So Kush made a kavul chaymer ba'atzma. That the Mitzrayim, they subjugated us, they tortured us, and yet Mashiach will accept their present. Why? Because the Maisa, we live there. Certainly Hashem did accept my present, says Kush. Hashem tells Mashiach, accept the present from Kush. Miyad Kush Taretz Yadav Lelokim. Immediately, the same exact thing happened, that Kush was able to give. He's going to quickly give his hands up to Hashem. Next came the Romans. These people are not their brothers. And yet, Mashiach accepts their present. Anu, we're brothers. We're from Esav. Certainly Mashiach should accept our present. Says Hashem to Gabriel, no way, nothing doing. Kayar chayas kone, rebuke the beast. Geor chayo k'nei lecha eda. Rebuke the beast and get together Klal Yisrael. Davar acher ge'oz chaya kana shedara. Says Gemara k'shedara beina ketana. Rebuke the beast of the reeds because they're dwelling amongst the reeds. The pasuk says, Yechar semenu chazir miyahar, the boar of the forest. is going to be trying to eat the ziv sada yirena. And the crawl of a field feeds on it. Rebuke the beast. Why? It's all written with the same komis, meaning the Romans have nothing to claim for themselves, and they're not going to be able to get involved in the party by giving gifts to Mashiach. Let's just finish up over here. The pasuk in Tehillim Samaches continues that the assembly of the people, the calves of the nation, that what is it referred to? That they shachted the Klal Yisrael like calves, as if they had no owner. The pasuk continues, opens his hand for bribes of money. They accepted their hands, accepted bribery, and they did not listen to the owners. Pizar, Amim, Karvais, Yechatzbon me Garam. He scatters the nation that desires. Who's going to cause them that they became scattered amongst the Goyim? Because we got too close to the Goyim. That's why we're going to be scattered, unfortunately, because we came too close to the Goyim. And we're going to stop over here when the Gemara is going to go into another teaching of the father of Ishmael. 3 more days to the wonderful Masechta of Pesachim, and we should have a fabulous day.